Okay, I just did a couple of videos for my channel that's on narcissism, and there was a reason, a major reason it was on my mind today, but it was because of yesterday. Now, when I woke up yesterday morning, I was thinking about a situation where there was devaluation involved, and I'm not talking about money. It was of me, and the person, and it was in the past. And I hadn't thought about it in a while. Well, I had actually thought about it one time recently, so I don't know whether it went into my dream or what. But it was, I need to remember to look over here. But it was a situation, it was a woman I had never met before. And when I did meet her, it was on a job, PRN kind of work, and never met her before. And she, when I met her, she was around my age, a little bit younger maybe. And she was dressed she was dressed like a histrionic. You know, she was not, it seemed like she wanted to make sure she stood out. She had on so much perfume, and I have chemical allergies, especially to perfumes and colognes. And hers was just so strong, and it was a really awful smell. And now I'm not trying to put her down. What I'm trying to point out is that she, well, I will eventually point out, she seemed to think she was better than, you know, me, maybe anybody, I don't know. Okay, now my personal views, we're all human, you know, we all have our strengths and weaknesses, and we, you know, on jobs or something, you have a job, I have a job, you know, that doesn't make you overall a better person than me. But she had that kind of attitude. Now, I've worked there before, you know, and never met anybody like that, never. So, and it was so unusual that it was shocking. And you know how sometimes when you're shocked, you're stunned, you don't respond right then. But I did, in the way of telling myself, just get through it, know her for what she is, get through the day, it'll be over with soon, don't, you know, say anything, just act like a, you know, normal day, that kind of thing. And but she pushed, she kept pushing. I never did say anything to her, but she kept pushing and pushing. So, okay, and it was one of those situations where it was crazy making, you know, on her part. And in one of my videos on my other channel, I said something about crazy making, and I meant, like, you know, that's a response, is the crazy making. Though the response is that you feel like you're going crazy, and you may even act like other people might think you're crazy. Yeah, I need to clear that up on that other channel. But anyway, this devaluation, it was so intense that it was, like I said, shocking. That someone would have the nerve, someone I'd never met before, didn't know anything about me, and she did that whole thing of crazy making and acting like she was the superior being. Now, we all know a superiority complex is often an inferiority complex, just, you know, mask disguise. And her behaviors are like between the histrionic and the narcissistic, which some would say is borderline, expressing these two. You know, I'm not here to diagnose, so. Okay, so anyway, after certain things happened, I asked one of her higher-ups, and she had the attitude, which made it a situation of total crazy making. And I asked because it's a catch-22. If I didn't, and she said, well, why were you doing that? I would say, because this other one told me, well, she's not your boss. And if I did, she's going to say, well, whatever that, which was what she said, was, whatever that other woman told you, you do. Okay. So it was going to be a situation where I could pick either one and be, you know, still, one is wrong and one is still wrong because she wasn't my boss. Okay, now some could say that because it was on my mind when I woke up this morning, and it was something that I couldn't kind of let go of immediately, you know, right away, and told myself, this is something I need to work on. Now, because it was on my mind, and then later on in the day, something happened that just kept continuing out. Some would say it's like a self-fulfilling prophecy, or, you know, it could be that I was highly sensitive to it because I was thinking about it. It could be a premonition, or it's just a cigar is a cigar. You know, it just happened, and that's all there is to it. It's just coincidental that it happened. So many things. But really, I just feel like that it just happened, you know. And I was highly sensitive to it because this is a situation that I am highly sensitive to, which is a good thing. I think a lot of people in this one, I think a lot of people, they experience a situation and they don't do anything, they don't say anything, they just, like I've heard somebody say before, just let it roll off their back. Well, when you experience a bad situation, to me, this is my opinion, could be wrong, but and you don't say or do something, to try to, stop it. For one thing, you're just throwing it off on somebody else. It's going to happen to somebody else. Nobody's going to, like what was the result of the second thing that happened? They said, well, not enough people have complained. I've heard that more than once from someone, and it was a situation outside the home that just escalated, and I wound up calling people to try to see, let them know what was going on. In the end, and part of it, not at the end, I was told not enough people have complained. So it was a lose-lose situation. There was no win. It's a no-win situation because it was like collective narcissism. That's all there is to it. They're right. Everybody else is wrong. So, okay, now that in and of itself, in my opinion, my view, is another form of devaluation. You're not as good as them. So, now I know a lot of people think of devaluation as when they're often in a relationship with a borderline, someone who has borderline personality disorder. One minute they're saying this is the greatest person in the world, the next minute they're saying you're the worst person in the world. Then there's different ways people use the term devaluation. But this is that you are not as good as this kind of situation. And the one that actually happened yesterday, I was not the only person that it happened to at the beginning. Okay, from the start, and it was more than one person, and some were actually making excuses for the ones who were doing wrong. Okay, so it was one of those situations where all around there was so much going on that it was not good. It's not a healthy situation at all. Okay, and it's too much to go into detail about the situation itself. But like I said, I tried to, report it, say this is what's going on, and then that person was one that told me that it has to be more than one person complaining. No, I am not ignorant. It does not need to be more than one person. And it just went on to another time, and then another time being transferred to somebody else. You know how that goes, And they're playing a game because this is kind of narcissistic, collective narcissism, because they're not going to be wrong. You're going to be wrong, and they're going to be right in their view, and there's no resolution. That just ends it all, right there. Of course, I could go on and just keep trying, but that's really, at some point, it's cut it off. Go no contact, walk away. You've done what you've done. That was enough. Anything else is just going to continue to add it to that crazy making kind of feeling that comes from somebody crazy making, doing this crazy making. Yeah, I meant to say that a different way, but you get the gist. Anyway, that's enough of this video for now. If you want to subscribe to this channel, click the circle. If you want to watch another video on this channel, click one of the rectangles, like, subscribe, comment, share if you want, and I'll talk to y'all in another video. Bye.